welcome back to another video. John Bodine here with Redemptive Psych, and today we're going to start our short series on the 8 cognitive functions. The cognitive functions are, in my opinion, the most vital and insightful component of each of our personality types. There are 8 functions, 4 functions of decision making and basically information, and 4 functions of perception of how we see the world, how we intuit things. Though that's a division that I don't love fully, but it's a good start. So the first function that we're going to be talking about is extraverted thinking. Now, these 2 books by BB, Energies and Patterns, we'll talk about him more later, and of course Jung's actual book on psychological types are really vital to understand the functions as they are. So in one of Jung's books, Modern Man in Search of a Soul, over here, very underrated book on with Jung's work, he has this beautiful quote that he talks about the different spectrums of personality, that is sensing, intuition, thinking, and feeling, where he shows what each of those is for in this little short paragraph. And of thinking, he says that thinking enables us to recognize meaning. Now, there's 2 versions of each function. Thinking, there's external or extroverted thinking, awareness of others, of what others think, and then introverted thinking, awareness of what I think. And that pattern is true all the way down through sensing, feeling, and intuition, whether that awareness is towards the external world, towards other people, or of oneself, in oneself. So the best summation of extroverted thinking is simply what others think. It's about what they think, what they believe. It's an awareness of how information flows through the world, how it flows into people, and how people use that information to form their beliefs. These 4 things we talk about. Jung says thinking is recognizing meaning. TE users recognize the meaning in procedure and data especially. They are so aware of the order of things, the sequence, the way things are supposed to go, the steps. This is especially true for STJs, many of whom are police officers, lawyers, accountants, in positions that require such a high awareness of rules and procedures that a lot of people can't really manage that, but TE users can. And their awareness of that is what allows them to be consistent, reliable, and in some ways prolific users of knowledge. Think of an accountant who has all this data of the finances and all the procedural awareness of how to fill out all this stuff. Most of us cannot do that in any kind of comfortable way. But TE users especially are gifted in knowing the procedure, knowing the information, and how it organizes into a cohesive way. So procedure and data are their more, in some ways, dry attributes, but totally necessary for making things function well. In psychological types, Jung talks about the difference between TE users and TI users, introverted or extroverted, and he does mention that the extroverted thinking user is sometimes looked at as being dry and banal almost, because they are, in some ways, you could argue, the most objectively aware in terms of those are the facts, that's the procedure, and that's that. There's not a lot of creative interplay necessarily with their awareness of information, but no one is more accurately and purely aware of the information than they are. So these are the first 2 attributes or aspects of what extroverted thinkers recognize, procedure and data. The next 2, though, reveal the more interesting dynamic side that an extroverted thinking has. Every function, every person, every type, we have this dual, we have at least 2 attributes that may seem very different at first. And for TE, this comes across with their awareness of status and perception. They are very interested in achievements, in what other people think highly of, in what is going to give them the recognition, whether this is money, a degree in something, a certification, a certain salary like I mentioned, being able to binge a certain amount, anything that's measurable and recognized by others, and that's highly thought of and respected, they are naturally going to be drawn to that, because it's like, if I can achieve that, then I will receive that status. And while it can be used to selfish ends of just trying to glorify themselves, it also can be a powerful motivator to help a TE user get up and get out and pursue something, because they are drastically and painfully aware of what other people think of them, especially the two TE inferiors, the ISFP and INFP, who are just brutalized by the possible thoughts that people may have about them or about other things that they care about. The pursuing achievements and goals can be a protective barrier against total like self-mental annihilation, where they can just destroy themselves with their own thoughts. So again, while it can be selfish when they just decide that, I just need to build myself up to be as impressive as possible, it can be a powerful motivating tool. I will say briefly though, for all these types, especially the ESTJ and ENTJ, part of their extreme self-consciousness with what other people think of them is actually a gift. It's pulling them to hopefully recognize that sometimes they are not actually that helpful towards other people. Sometimes they don't always care about other people. Sometimes they really just care about bolstering their own status and achievements. But if they can learn to focus some of their attention on actually helping other people, on learning and achieving things that can give back to other people, they're going to find that they're less self-conscious about what others think of them, because they are taking on the role, at least partially, of serving other people and choosing to use their abilities to benefit people beyond themselves and beyond people that make them look good. So that's a little insight to be aware of for TE users who are really suffering from self-consciousness. Are you trying to help other people, or are you just trying to bolster yourself up with achievements? For the difference between TE and TI, I like to use the word clarify and distinguish. For extroverted thinkers, they are very good at clarification. Clarification is adding information to fill out the picture. Extroverted thinkers are all about context and beliefs and helping people understand the picture. So if someone comes up and says, I don't quite understand that, can you tell me more? That may be a TE user, and they will give you more information, fill out the picture, and lock into exactly how you're thinking about it and help you walk through that to give you the right information. Whereas a TI user, which we'll talk about TI later, TI users distinguish. Now that they have the full picture, they can cut through that and tell you what's what, this is that, that's not right, that's right. That is their gift. But TI users, they add information. They fill out the picture. They help us see what's totally possible, what's available with the information that they can give us. And that leads to a point, especially with the 4 TE users who have extroverted intuition, the STJs and the NFPs. TE, as a standalone function, is about guiding people in their beliefs and ideas and the information that they have. But combined with extroverted intuition, which the NFPs and STJs have, it combines into a total ability to guide other people. And that's what those types are about. They guide other people through supplying information, helping them understand their own beliefs, maybe adjust their perspective, and then through creating possibilities with their extroverted intuition, they can kind of help guide someone from front to end. And part of their guidance is here in what they're best at. They are TE users, while they're best at these things too. This is more what they're aware of: procedure, data, status, perception. They are really good at organization and structure. Whether that's external organization, like an ESTJ with a cleanup business, they are really good at going into a room, helping people organize their thoughts, helping them organize their space, and putting their life into order and providing peace through that ordering. Or with someone who's maybe in a therapeutic role, like an INFP or an ENFP or a life coach, they use their organization and structure more purely of the mind and of the spirit, helping people orient to finding a path for themselves and get on the right track of healing, especially. That is an NFP gift. Investing in others, helping them look at the world a little differently. That's also what TE is really, really good at. It takes a situation that someone may be in, maybe even a terrible tragedy, and it can help someone look at that situation through a different lens, supply the encouragement, supply the information that that person may need to make a different choice in terms of whether they're going to use the tragedy to get down on themselves and go down a bottomless pit, or pull themselves out of that and pursue something much better, because the TE user was able to show them a different way that it could go. Now, TE users are not perfect. All of us have these struggles, and all of us who are good at something are naturally going to be pulled by something that's holding that intention. And that thing that's pulling us is often going to be painful. It's going to cause issues. It's going to be an obstacle for us. And for the TE user, that first obstacle is groupthink. Because they are so aware of what others think, the information that they take in, if a certain amount of people agree with that information, it's very natural for the TE user to absorb that and think of it as true. Groupthink is one of their biggest obstacles. But the question to ask for you TE users, is it true or is it an opinion? And the weight of verification that is on you to develop the best information, to have the best information, is not something you have to do alone. We'll get to that in a second. But the risk is always there, every day, every week. Are you going to absorb and live by the majority, or are you going to actually seek what's true? That's the first obstacle, groupthink. The second obstacle is authenticity. Now, you might say, well, aren't INFPs all about authenticity? Kind of, they can be, but the obstacle that TE users face is appearing a certain way. They can, with their extroverted thinking, manipulate the perceptions of other people to make themselves look great and look awesome and look on top of it. That's especially a TE hero thing, an ESTJ and ENTJ thing, where they may go out of their way to make themselves look much better than they actually are. That's the first risk. But the other side of that is something a little unexpected. This is more with the ISFP and INFP, with their TI demon. At times, they can actually overshare. They can overcorrect because they're so afraid of embarrassment. They may think that the solution to embarrassment is just staring right into it and letting it all out there. Sometimes that is what makes them beautiful humans. Sometimes, though, it's not appropriate. It's not the right time to lay all that information on people. So somewhere between manipulating your image to make yourself look great and oversharing is the middle pathway that the skilled TE user will find. And that's where their discretion is. Thank God that TE users exist, because they save us from so much embarrassment, so much getting ourselves into weird spots where people are looking at us, thinking of us in a certain way that's not true. They save us from a lot of that. Without that, and because of their awareness of discretion, they actually save us from a lot of pain. Even though we might, as TI users, not be aware of that, they are often and always, almost always, going out of their way to save you and save other people from embarrassment. And all they ask in return is for us to be a little bit thoughtful about when we share information, how we make them look at times, bringing up criticism in tasteful and appropriate times, and not just laying it all out there like TI users can be prone to do. So those are their two struggles: groupthink, and then balancing between making yourself look too good versus oversharing, and finding that path of what is discreet and what's going to be helpful for other people. Related to that is their areas for growth. These two things are going to be very important in helping expand and sharpen extroverted thinking. The solution to groupthink is surrounding yourself with quality thinkers. You as a TE user are going to absorb what the voices around you say. If you surround yourself with great thinkers who are careful and precise and informed with their thinking, guess what? Your thinking is going to become that much better. Related to that is a more courageous step for you. Are you willing to inquire and learn and listen to voices outside of your context that you're comfortable with, or outside of your beliefs? Are you willing to have your beliefs challenged? Or are you going to stay in this narrow religious fanatic land of I can only read a book written by a Christian, or I can only read a book written by a diehard scientist, empiricist. Are you going to allow yourself to be challenged by wherever your belief is? Can you be challenged by someone on the other side of the aisle and learn something from them? I promise you there are things to learn from other people if you just opened your eyes, had the courage to pick up a book or a podcast, or listen or ask someone a question who you disagree with. And instead of trying to make them come to your side, actually understand and dig deep into their opinion first. And then guess what? You're going to realize, oh my God, not all my beliefs are right at all. And that is when the painful truth of ignorance dawns upon the TE user, and they have a choice whether to stay ignorant and try and shut their, up their shutters so that they only see what they believe and what they're comfortable in, or they can open up their world and say, you know what, I'm going to steer into what's uncomfortable. I'm going to invite some of these voices. I'm going to look for some quality thinkers who advocate for a different belief than mine, and my thinking is going to be expanded because of that. If they can do those two things, their extroverted thinking is going to become so informed and so helpful and so dynamic that any situation they face, they will have something to provide for that. And remember, it's these 8 types who have extroverted thinking in their top 4 functions. That's the definition for if you're a TE user or not. Every person has TE, but some of us have it in such low amounts that it's not as relevant, okay? So keep in mind, if you're one of these types, I strongly encourage you to surround yourself with quality thinkers and pursue the acquisition of knowledge that may differ from your belief system. If you can do that, you're going to be very, very helpful to others, or at least have the opportunity for that. And that's what you want anyway. You want the influence, the ability to be helpful to others when a situation arises. All right, thanks guys. This is the first function, extroverted thinking. We'll come back later to continue this series on the individual functions. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.